Hello friends, James Stevenson back with another episode of Who's Hating Hard on Tesla Today. Once again, today's featured hater is going to be Brad Munchen. I keep having to make him the hater. I'm actually going to make this episode Dunkin on Munchen. You have to mispronounce Brad Munchen's last name to make that joke work, but I've been dunking on Brad Munchen so far this year. Dunkin on Munchen a lot. And so this is the top 10 Dunkin on Munchen tweets of 2023 so far, year to date. I've got 10 already. We're not even to June yet. Let me check in with Loki just because I know it's going to irritate Brad when he watches this video to see to see me check in with Loki, who still hasn't eaten his breakfast yet today. If you really want to make Brad Munchen angry, subscribe to me on Patreon or on Twitter. That'll really irritate him. I did not bother actually ranking the top 10. I just searched for tweets from me that replied to Brad since January 1st of 2023 and scrolled down the list. So I'm just going to scroll back up the list and show you the top 10 tweets that I dunked on Brad Munchen as evidenced by the ratio. So let's scroll up here and see what Brad was tweeting about on May 6th. He said, Tesla Q2 free cash flow burn secured. So Brad thinks that Tesla is going to report negative free cash flow in Q2. And his evidence for that is a photograph of a bunch of Teslas that already have German license tags on them, meaning they're ready to be picked up by their purchasers. So that's what this tweet was about. So I replied, so the hashtag Tesla Q talking points memo said you're doing too many cars in parking lots this week. I look forward to not enough cars in parking lots next week. Now, I haven't seen not enough cars in parking lots tried since then, but Tesla Q was trying that back in 2019, 2020, when I put together this meme, a meme so old. I did update it a few times, but I have a version of this from 2018 where I didn't even have a watermark to put on it. That's how old the meme was. That's one of the top 10. Here's another one. I'm going to show you this one in a minute anyway. Well, I'll show it to you now, I guess. This was just the screenshot for people Brad blocks to be able to see what his original tweet was. He said, if Tesla starts advertising like other car makers, expect a $2.5 billion hit to profits annually. That's 25% of 2023 net profit estimates. Well, that's dumb. The assumption Brad is making here is that if Tesla spent $2.5 billion on ads, they would lose all $2.5 billion, which is super dumb. So I had to reply to that here. Wait, is that what you think companies do? Spend $2.5 billion per year on ads so that they can lose an extra $2.5 billion more operating income every year than they would make if they just didn't buy ads? If that were true, wouldn't they just stop advertising so that they could make $2.5 billion more dollars worth of profit every year? If there's no return on advertising, then why advertise? Think through the problem, Brad Munchen. I swear you are the worst financial analyst I ever heard of. So this is one of the biggest ratios I've gotten against a Brad Munchen tweet. We'll see some more of them before the video ends. Here's one. Tesla's production and deliveries report does not include Semi, but thanks for playing. Why would I reply with that? Well, this was Brad Munchen retweeting Fun with Numbers. You know, he retweeted it because it came up in this search, right? So he must have retweeted it. Fun with Numbers says, why do people trust this idiot, referring to me, when his May 7th forecast doesn't even include the correct actual results for production and deliveries over the last 2 quarters? Well, over the last 2 quarters, Tesla has been producing and delivering semis, and I forecast that activity to occur because it is part of Tesla's operating results. It's included in the dollar amounts. It's just not shown on the production and deliveries report that Fun with Numbers was tying me out against. Next, a tweet from me replying to Brad saying, smart people can identify charlatans based on their track record. Now, why would I reply with that? Oh, because he's retweeting me, captioning it, listen to this charlatan misguide his followers about record high Tesla inventories. He says Tesla is trying to smooth the end of quarter push for sales. They are. In the past 4 quarters, Tesla has seen the last month of each quarter make up 65% of quarterly sales in China plus EU. All right, so I just said in part 6, I talk about apparently the most difficult to understand concept in the whole world based on the recent freak out about inventory levels growing, ending the wave of deliveries. I made a video. I've made like 5 videos about ending the wave of deliveries, and people still don't get this. If you want to have cars to deliver in the first month of every quarter, you have to have inventory at the end of every quarter so that it's available to be delivered, right? That's what smoothing out the wave of deliveries means. So what did I include here as my captions? Well, here's one where Brad replied to me from October 14th, 2019, saying his investment thesis was that the U.S. Has peaked for Tesla sales volume. He thought that Tesla would never sell more vehicles in the U.S. than they sold in 2019. Then the only growth they'll have is $30,000 to $35,000 Model 3s in China. Pretty sure Tesla has never sold Model 3 in China for less than $35,000. Financial failure in Q3, Q4 2020 at the latest. You can timestamp this, so I did. I took a screenshot, and here it is, of Brad Munchen. I don't think he deletes his old tweet. Credit to Brad for sending out thousands of wrong tweets and then not bothering to delete them later. Yeah, he thought Tesla would go bankrupt. I put an arrow on the chart here to helpfully show at what moment in time Brad sent this tweet, October 14th of 2019. Tesla had been trading a lot lower earlier that year, down to about $12 split adjusted. So they had risen quite a lot by the time he sent this tweet. He thought that it would collapse imminently, and that by the end of this year, by the end of 2020, Tesla would be a zero. And instead, Tesla is now worth, 16 times what it was trading for in parts of 2019. Let's see another one of these screenshots here. So here's one from this year. You can search for this tweet from Brad, where he claimed he hadn't said Tesla would lose money since 2019, and that he was actually long Tesla in 2021, which seems hard to believe. Given all the car counting you do because you lack the knowledge of counting their cash flows, it's hard to believe that you can't see China being a huge risk for Tesla this year. Well, Tesla has one of the top-selling cars in China this year, and another one in the top 10 with Model 3. So what else do I have here? Well, I've got a tweet from 2021 where Brad says, Tesla August shipments of 44,000 in China are a record, but domestic sales of 13,000 are third lowest since November 19 and 11% below estimate. Tesla exports mostly to the EU are 55% of total. Wait till its German plant opens. No new models plus weak China demand equals 2022 losses. So on the one hand, Brad is claiming he hasn't said Tesla would lose money since 2019, but here he is in 2021 saying Tesla would lose money in 2022. What's this one say? Well, this one's from early in 2021, from 7 months earlier than this other one, saying 3 things are certain: Tesla will lose money in 2021. So he claimed in 2021 that Tesla would lose money in 2021, and he claimed in 2021 that Tesla would lose money in 2022. And in 2022, he claimed that Tesla would lose money in 2023. I'll show you that one later on in this video. So here's Brad's $95 price target, fair value for Tesla within a year. This was before both splits, so you got to divide this number by 15, which gets you to $6.33 That was Brad's target for where he would buy Tesla. That's where he said he would go long if Tesla fell to $6.33. Instead, it went up here and is now currently trading around $200. But late in 2022, Brad claimed this is why we're not even in the first inning of Tesla going to $5. So $6.33, $5, pretty consistent price targets from Brad here. That's the last of those. Let's scroll up and find... Oh, I might need to back out of this one to go back to my search list. I'm going to skip the comedy in 3 acts tweet. It's one of these. I didn't actually ratio Brad on this one. He had 35 likes here. I only got 29 when he predicted Tesla would close below 178 on May 19th, and instead it closed above 180. So that's pretty funny, but not funny enough to spend a lot of time on. Let's go back to the next one in the search. The first rule of forecasting is whatever you forecast, it will be wrong. I have never guaranteed forecast accuracy. But I think most people are smart enough to determine for themselves which of us has proven that they understand Tesla better. And it's these same tweets again. Here's one from, well, let me see what I was replying to here. Brad said, if you think Wall Street consensus is stupid and way too optimistic, take a look at this Tesla estimate from James. Q2 adjusted EPS, $1.33. Consensus estimate, 79 cents. He admits he doesn't understand finance. I'm not sure when I admitted that, but has 156,000 followers. It's a little more than that now, and 1.1k likes on these estimates. So yeah, I mean, who's got the better proven track record, Brad, you or me? Let's see. Not a tough one to answer there. So we already saw this one. We covered this earlier in this video. Here's a more recent one. I covered this kind of in a video I made recently, Who's Hating Hard on Tesla Today, with Brad posting this video showing R&D as a percent of revenue falling over time, which is what you want if you're running a business. You don't want your R&D percent of revenue to stay the same as your revenue grows, right? So I tweeted, whenever a Tesla hater mentions Tesla R&D being lower as a percent of revenue, I like to pull this revenue chart out. Now let's see what Brad's reply was. I mean, I got 337 likes on this. He got 80 on his original tweet here. He asked, what's the point of this chart? And all I could reply was, OMG, you are so dense. And he replied, why so? Because my chart explains why your chart has a declining line. The R&D as a percent of revenue is falling because the revenue is growing by so much. You colossal idiot. I mean, come on. You have to laugh. You have to laugh at this, right? Let's check out this one. 286 likes on this one against 30 for Brad's original tweet here. Calling me names again. You know, it's hard to find a photo or a video of Brad Munchen. If you have one, let me know. I've never seen one. He sure does have a thing for calling me names based on my appearance, which is never a very strong indicator of, debating from a position of strength. Admits whatever he forecasts will be wrong. Yeah, whatever anyone forecasts, it will be wrong. For example, you forecast Tesla would lose money in 2020 and 2021 and 2022 and 2023. So the only one of these you haven't seen yet. I mean, here's the chart of what Tesla did in 2020, 2021, and 2022. Now, we don't know what Tesla's earnings are going to be for full year 2023 yet, but I'm forecasting a larger number than this. I'll scroll back and play you the audio of Brad on George Noble's podcast explaining what his 2023 earnings expectation was for Tesla. Spoiler alert, he thinks it's going to be a loss.
How good could it be And how bad could it be? What's the range you could see on this thing?
I think realistically, given like I've seen, I've been through the .com, the financial crisis and all that, and I've followed autos through the whole time, and I think to be realistic, I think Tesla will make a loss next year.
Tesla will make a loss
because there's never been a car maker who builds 2 new factories to make the same model.
How good.
There you go. So there's Brad on the record saying Tesla's going to lose money in 2023. We'll see if that forecast is right or wrong at the end of 2023. Get back out of here and scroll up a little bit. Okay, and this is the most recent tweet. It's the top of the search. This is the last of the top 10 Dunkin on Munkin tweets. I don't know. Maybe try not following me, you clown. So here's a screenshot of Brad Munchen following me. I'll just click through this so you can see. He's still following me. That's a live link there. So what did he say? He said he'd pay good money for YouTube to shut this guy's channel down so that I don't have to see this in my feed. Well, there's a lot wrong with that. One of the things is I posted that video directly to Twitter. It isn't even on YouTube in this screen grab that he made. So even if YouTube did shut my channel down, I would still be able to upload video directly to Twitter. But the more salient and important point is if you don't want to see my tweets, maybe stop following me. And so 562 likes on this one against 55 likes on the original tweet. So I have an order of magnitude more likes here, as Elon would say. And with that, I will check back in with Loki, who is still dozing in bed, and outro and say, if you've enjoyed today's video, who's hating hard on Tesla today? Maybe I'll hit that sizzle one more time, just because I like my little animated sizzle. I only ever bothered to make one, so I try to get a lot of mileage out of it. If you've enjoyed today's video, click the like button. If you're not subscribed to my channel, you could do that over here by clicking the subscribe button. Those are both free. But thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon or by subscribing to me on Twitter for only 69 cents per week. If you want to make Brad Munchen really angry, subscribe to me. And a special thank you to my 2 executive producers, Kathy Kitchler and Rebellionaire.com, and I'll see you in the next one.